Dawson Rider review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here. Welcome to my review for the penultimate episode of Power Rangers Beast Morphers Season 2, a classic Justice for Beastbots episodes, as they're treated like trash yet again by the jealous human characters who are mad that the Beastbots are better characters than all the human ones combined. But we'll get to that. But setting the Justice for Beastbots content aside, this was actually quite a good episode, with my only real problem outside of the Beastbots treatment being the twist at the end, but I'll get to why that is at the end. So this episode, they're at Riptide, and Blaze suddenly shows up. And funnily enough, when Blaze shows up, Ben and Betty are like, "Blaze? What are you doing here?" Which was just kind of funny and meta, because I feel like they've really forgotten about human Blaze and Roxy in general, but especially Blaze. At least Roxy's been there a couple times. But that was kind of funny, and I wanted to mention that. But Blaze said he diverted his trip to a karate tournament in Japan, so obviously it's a Sentai reference! A karate tournament so that he can bring them this memory core from Roxy. I'm like, damn, that memory core fit inside Roxy? Although I guess it's probably the big version. But so they bring it back to the Beastbots headquarters, or the Beastbots, that should be the Beastbots headquarters, and they plug it in and they get to see some of Roxy's last memories, and they basically cut to a clip from yesterday's episode when Evox is talking about how his final plan is in motion, and not long after that a Gigadrone attacks. Zoe and Ravi are first on the scene. They do an unnecessary civilian fight. Blaze comes in to help as a civilian because he doesn't have powers. The others two have no excuse, just morph. He gets injured, and then Devin shows up late because Crew's, like, GPS is off or something. Again, teleporting, guys, teleporting. And then the monster escapes, and then Blaze kind of is throwing heavy shade at Cruz for his GPS not working, and he talks to Devin about how he's like a good leader, but he needs to be tougher on the team. And Devin immediately starts being tougher on the team. This is kind of funny because the episode description says Devin starts acting bad because of a bad influence, and I did not expect it to be Blaze. I mean, there's obviously a twist on why it's a bad influence at the end, but based on the episode description, I thought this was going to be a filler where, like, Devin was hanging out with a kid that's like, "Oh, eat dessert before dinner," and then the other Rangers got really mad at him. But this was like a legit character in there. But Devin's immediately starting to become more strict on the Rangers. He gets further bad influence from Blaze when he's training with him, and basically they come up with a really radical plan. Or the Rangers come up with a plan to stop Evox, but then Blaze is like, actually, let's trap him and take this really risky approach that could risk the Beastbots. And Devin decides to go with it as a more cutthroat approach. And this was some really interesting stuff, and I'll get to that at the end, but this is what they should have been doing from the beginning of the season. Again, I'll get to that at the end. But they go with Blaze's plan, they get in the Megazord, Evox has got his Omega drone, so the Omega Rangers show up. No, they don't, but he's got an Omega drone. They do wind up crashing him into the hangar, and they do not blow up the Megazords, but at least severely damage them, and the base gets damaged, and it's very risky, and Cruz is severely injured, but they do seem to capture Evox, so it's kind of like oh man, we shouldn't have done this because Cruz is injured, but it also kind of worked out. And then Blaze is in there gloating, like he's like, "I really am amazing." I'm sorry for getting a winning plan. Like, it was classic jerk Blaze stuff, and I was happy to see him acting the way he was at the beginning of the series, because this season was acting like Blaze was never a jerk, and he was totes 100% a douche the whole time, before even Robo Blaze and evil Avatar Blaze. But then we find out it was actually Robo Blaze the whole time, because good guy Stepford Blaze, who's been brainwashed into one of the Stepford Ranger characters, calls in on Skype. He's doing a Zoom meeting, everyone's doing them these days. And so that's how just very convenient timing, like, couple, I'd say. But it was him the whole time, and for whatever reason, Evox wanted to be captured. But this was, like, overall, setting that twist to the side, a good episode, good finale momentum. Good to see the Rangers being proactive about it. And the stuff with Blaze, I thought, before the reveal, I thought was so cool. Because it makes no sense to me that Blaze and Roxy wouldn't even try for a hot minute to stay with Grid Battle Force. Because they were trained to be the Rangers. Literally, Ravi's the only qualified member of the Ranger team that was trained by Grid Battle Force. Everybody else was an accident. And it made no sense. This could have been such cool early arcs for the season, having Blaze and Roxy trying to integrate back into Grid Battle Force. And the idea of Blaze always being a jerk could have been cool. Like, what if he was trying to work Grid Battle Force, or even take over as Red Ranger again, like they did with Time Force and Alex. And then they discover, like, setting aside Avatar Blaze, he's a jerk and it doesn't work out, that's why Devon's the better choice. That would have been so cool. And I kept thinking through this episode, this is honestly what they should have been doing earlier, but I can't believe they're waiting until 3 episodes out, and then you take it all away by making it Robo Blaze, which isn't a terrible twist if it wasn't for the fact that they were not acting like Blaze wasn't always a douche. Like, even with Jared, when Jared was redeemed in Jungle Fury, they still addressed, like, that he was a jerk, and, like, why he was a jerk, and then why he was on a journey to being better. And they didn't just be like, oh golly gee guys, I was just this good all along. It's like with Ryan, the Titanium Ranger, raised in quite literally hell, and as soon as he finds out that it was a misunderstanding, he's like, golly gee Pop, sure hope I didn't make you mad. You were raised in hell! That was so frustrating, and it just made me mad because it made me realize how much potential there was for Blaze, like good Blaze throughout the season. Like, there could have been 2 cool ways they could have gone with this. They could have had Blaze try to integrate back into Grid Battle Force in some way, and then find out, like, okay, you're actually not a good fit because you're kind of a jerk, and then kind of have a little mini redemption arc, and then he joins back up at the end. Or maybe he liked being bad, and then he actually joins the evil side. How much of a cool twist would it have been if Blaze just liked being bad and joined Evox at the end? And they could have done something similar with Roxy. And then it also made me think, it would have been kind of low-key cool if they were going to rescue Blaze and Roxy if they became Gold and Silver after they were rescued. Like, I mean, as much as I love Steel, maybe I'll do a separate video on that or talk about it in my series review. I don't want to get too in the weeds about that, but my point of that little rantful there was, it reminded me how much cool potential there was. It was cool to see Blaze's actor, and I think he does a good job of playing both, like, nice and a jerk, and I did a good job with that, and it had a lot of cool material. I just think it kind of sucks that it was undone by the twist at the end. But setting that aside, which is kind of more of a general series problem, this was a very solid episode. I was going to give it an 8, but I'm going to be a petty bench and give it a 7.7 just to knock those 0.3 points off for the twist at the end. But I'm still excited to see where we're going. Also, I got so worked up about the Blaze stuff, I forgot to mention there was a scene between Evox and Scrozzle where he says, I have a very dark past, Scrozzle. So we're going to find out probably that he's Venjix next episode. We'll see. Or something like that. But what did you guys think of the episode? Did you enjoy it? Or are you upset about the Blaze twist? Do you think they could have done more with Blaze's character like me? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps, entering that bell, the notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.